Stephen A. Smith and C.J. McCollum were just on ESPN pretty much talking about, is this the last we've seen of Dame in Portland? And I have to say this, yes, it's about time. In fact, it's one of those things that as a fan of basketball, I just, it's just time, Dame. We just got to go. We have to do something. We're going to talk about that, man. Listen, if you are new to this channel, this is P.kidd from the Windy City Breeze. This is now P.kidd Talks NBA. I wanted to do something more in regards to talking general sports. I like other teams as well. I just like the game of basketball. And sometimes it's a lot going on that I want to speak on that just doesn't necessarily fit the Chicago Bulls. But still a shot town till I die. We already know what it is. But getting into this particular video, man, listen, it is time for Dame to actually move on. I don't know what Dame is in this level of mediocrity, but also like they've had some decent runs, and I can't really necessarily blame him for wanting to stick it out because they ran into a buzzsaw called the Golden State Warriors. That, I mean, you really can't do nothing about it. You almost just got to wait it out. Like what were you going to do against that particular team? That team was a cheat code. Then they got better. They brought in KD. That was just like, what? Like, what do you do with that? So, like, I get why some of the years you would stick it out. They've made the playoff 8 out of the last 10. Like, they've done well in regards to, I mean, especially compared to the Bulls. Like they've done well. But it's one of those things where you saw it not going anywhere. It was like you saw that they were just always one player behind, a step behind. They get rid of C.J. McCollum. They didn't bring in another star. Like, it was one of those things where it's just like, man, I know you want to be the man there, but at this point, the world is telling you, like, damn, we got it. You solid. It is time to move on. But I want to talk about some interesting thing. What team could he go to? Or rather, if let's say Portland does stick it out, who could they bring to him? And that's one of the things that I think he would like the most is, can you bring someone here? Now, they haven't done it, but let's just entertain it just for the sake just for sake of conversation at this point. I do think the addition of Jeremy Grant did help. I think Jeremy Grant was a real solid player to bring into him. I thought them getting rid of Norman Powell, I think Norman Powell was there as well. I thought that was solid. I thought they had a squad with that. I don't know what really happened that made them like not keep that going, but like to me that was a squad. Norman Powell was a certified bucket. Can help Dame on so many different levels. Jeremy Grant, certified bucket. He actually does a lot more than he gets credit for. I like that, but those particular players for him, and I think they still kept Nurkic. But when they traded away Norman Powell or didn't keep him, I'm like, yo, what we doing? But then I saw I saw Simons come along, and it's like, yo, they're going younger. Okay. As Dame is out of there, but then it's still Dame still stick it out and still like I'm like, yo, that's not gonna work out. Now with the latest developments in Boston and me pretty much, I think the whole world is pretty much saying, hey, you're not going to keep Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I can see how Dame could potentially end up in a Boston Celtic jersey. I think that kind of works out. But I'll be honest with you, the thing that helps me that I think will work out the most is him being in a Miami jersey. Now, I know what people would say, and I know how they may even feel to Dame. Like, they're in the finals. Like, if they win the chip and I go there, am I now riding their coaches? Am I now pulling a KD? And I don't think anybody would feel that way. Mainly because, one, it's time for you to rotate, Dame. It's time for you to go. At the same time, we know that Miami has dramatically overachieved. There's no way in heck you thought that this Miami team was going to be in the finals and even get a game. But they have a game. They got a game. They might even get two. Like, they are performing at a level that no one really expected. And if they do win this championship, no one was going to pick them to repeat. Like, no one is going to pick them to repeat. Let me reemphasize that. The Miami Heat will not repeat if they don't make major changes to their roster if they win this finals. So Dame going there makes sense. Why? Cultural fit. Dame being the same cloth as Pat Riley, in my opinion, Spo, Jimmy Butler, that tandem right there makes sense. Them needing another score, like they need a bona fide bucket. I like Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler in many ways shows you that, hey, Yeah, he gets it. Jimmy does get buckets. His name is Jimmy G Buckets. Don't get me wrong. But he also showed you in some instances that, maybe we need another guy. Like, I don't know how to describe it. And I think if you watch the game, it's like if you definitely need this three, you cringe when Jimmy takes it. You know that he is confidence. You're confident that he's confident, but are you confident that three gonna go in? Nah, you almost surprised that joint hit. But it's still a good shot. It's like, he's stepping up. He's got to do what he got to do. But like your confidence level with him taking that three versus like a Dame taking that three, totally different level of confidence. Like if Dame takes that three, I'm almost for sure that thing's going to smack. I'm not sure Jimmy Butler is smacking any three. But that's just my take on Jimmy. I think Jimmy does a whole lot, but being just a flat out bucket or scorer like this on the same caliber Dame, it's not even close. But the cultural fit works. I do see Dame potentially even going to the Boston Celtics because they have the pieces. They have the pieces to send to Portland. They can get a younger player and some other piece. Like Boston has a lot of capital to trade, and without gutting their team and still making the numbers work. Like Jaylen Brown is going to be up for one crazy extension. And so from a monetary perspective, Boston for me is one of the teams that can make it work the most. I've seen some things of every other team I've seen. You pretty much have to gut that team to a point where it doesn't make sense. The Chicago Bulls are even one of the teams in which I feel like could make that particular push with Zach LaVine's contract or DeMar DeRozan's another piece. That could actually work. But would they want that? And considering that they've already done business with us, they already got one of our picks anyway. Like, would they even want that? Would they even consider it? How does that pretty much work out? Like, I don't see that happening, which is why I'm not even going hard on that aspect. But I do feel like, hey, Dame in Boston, Dame in Miami. I mean, Miami has to have a ton of cap space in the first place. I mean, they got like 17 undrafted players on the freaking team, for God's sake. But all in all, this is just to say that I want Dame to have the best opportunity to win. I don't want Dame. I think Dame is already a top 75 player. I don't want Dame to go down as one of those players who didn't get a ring and it be solely because he decided to be too loyal to an organization that wasn't really loyal to them. I don't think the Portland Trailblazers have been loyal to him in the sense of getting him the type of help to complete his legacy or to really see him reach his potential as an NBA player. I don't think they've done that for him. So that's what I mean by loyalty. They've definitely taken care of him financially. I'm pretty sure that he's like the man in that space. So I'm not going to sit there and make it seem as if they've done absolutely nothing for him. But I do feel like there is so much more that could have been done for Dame. But I want to hear your thoughts. Stephen A is pretty much begging for him to go to New York or something like that. CJ McCollum, who's his guy, is pretty much saying that he's probably seen the last of him there. I know that he can't say so much being an active player and all that stuff, but like, I think the writing's on the wall. Now it's a matter of where he lands. My bet is Miami. I think Miami is going to be the perfect place for him. I don't know exactly how that money works or how they get him there, but I see them actually making a move to get him. I think Pat Riley would absolutely make that deal to get Dame there, seeing that his team needs that type of player to get over the hump. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the comments. We'll be talking more NBA news throughout the day and throughout the week. Get in tune with me. Mwah.